Hey guys, so the big day is finally here. I have my new Silhouette Cameo 3 in the craft room and unboxed and set up. Now for the purpose of this video, I did move it from its regular space. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of clearance between the back of the Silhouette and this wall. This is just the home for the purpose of the video. And I know the number one question a lot of people have at this point is what's new, what's different, and should I upgrade? I upgraded without even knowing what was new at first, and that's just because you guys know me at this point. I tend to be an early adopter when it comes to new versions of machines. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So if you didn't know, on August 1st, Silhouette America announced that they were releasing Silhouette Cameo 3 to retailers. And the new machine is an upgrade from the original edition of the Cameo, which is what I had. And once you unbox it and get it in your hand, the first thing I noticed, and you'll probably notice too, is that it's big. And when I say big, I don't mean in terms of innovation, even though there are some definite upgrades inside. I mean physically big. The machine is a good 2 inches roughly bigger than the previous generation of Cameo. So if you have a tight spot on your desk, you may have to keep that in mind before purchasing this and setting it up. You might be out of space, and I actually am. About 2 inches of this machine overhangs off the side of my desk, but it works fine, so it's okay. But anyways, I'm going to jump right into what's new about this machine. So as you can tell right away looking at it, it has a sleek new housing and everything is covered. And to access the actual machine, you just lift up the lid. And the first thing that I noticed is this new dual carriage here. And the dual carriage is actually for multi-tool use or cutting by line color. I've done a video on how to cut by line color previously, and I will link to that video in the top right hand corner of this one. Also, the release blade or the release of the blade is different on this machine. In past machines, it was a different type of release mechanism. For this one, you pull on this tab and the blade comes out. And in particular on the new auto blade, which I'll talk about shortly, there are 2 little prongs for you to line up before you stick it into the machine. Now, some things in the machine have not changed. There's still a built-in scanner for print and cut inside the head of the machine, and it also has the uses the same pick scan mats. So none of that has changed, but there is a higher clearance on the bar here at the bottom. It's difficult to see from this angle, but it is at 2 millimeters now, so it is a slightly higher clearance than previous generations of machines so that you can load thicker materials into under the bar. Now, if you had a Silhouette Cameo 2, you'll notice there are some things that are exactly the same. For example, this spring bar here hasn't changed very much. It has the extra tension on the springs to hold down projects onto your cutting mat. And there are also some additional markings here on the base for lining up your materials. So you'll see that there is a line here in addition to some lines further down the machine for alignment. Similarly to the previous generation of Cameo, it also has the same release mechanism for lowering and raising the bar here. And this is for adjusting the rollers, but there is a small symbol on the bar here that shows lock and unlock options for locking the roller into place. And also, just like previous versions of the Cameo, the cutting area is 12 inches wide, and it also has the capability to load continuously off a roll of vinyl and do matless cutting, which is typically used with vinyl. You can see that the machine has actually powered itself off because the display has gone off, and that is because it has a sleep timer that is set for a predetermined amount of time, and you can determine what that time is within the settings. Now, if you're curious about weight, this particular machine is about 12 pounds roughly, 10 to 12 pounds, and it does have some built-in storage options. If you had the previous Silhouette Cameo 2, you know that there were some storage options that were on the side. Now those storage options are here on the front, and you can see that there are 2 places for you to store additional blades here, as well as a section for you to adjust the blade depth if you're using an older style of blade. There's also some storage built into the bottom here. So if I pull this drawer out, you'll see that there are storage compartments for a spatula and a pick tool, which they're showing you a little image of there, as well as a storage area for a cross cutter or any smaller tool that you may want to store there as well, like a scraper. Also within this drawer, there is a compartment for pulling out additional alignment tools. So if you pop this little guy open right here, you'll see that there are actually guides for your materials. So if you're cutting from a roll where you're using a matless cutting option like vinyl, you should be able to use these to help align your material without it shifting around as much. You also could use these bars for older mats. So if you have a mat from a portrait, it would probably fit within this space. I can't test that out for you because at this point I don't own a portrait or a portrait mat. But I do recall that it is a smaller, it has a smaller footprint. There's also the same alignment option down here as well, where you can open this up and you'll get the same bar. So you can open up these 2 or these 2 at the far ends. And this entire compartment slides right back in. Similarly to the Cameo 2, there is a touchscreen that has built-in tutorials. And those built-in tutorials show you simple functions like how to load the cutting mat or how to adjust the roller bar. And if you are coming from a Cameo 2, it has the same features on the side where you can plug in a USB stick and cut directly from a USB attachment. If you are coming from the original Cameo 1 first edition, that machine had an actual SD card reader. This machine does not. Now, if you're curious what this machine actually physically comes with, out of the box, you're going to get the Cameo machine itself, and you're also going to get a power cord and a 12-inch cutting mat. Unlike previous machines, there is no CD that comes with the actual machine, but it does give you directions on how to access your 1-month basic subscription that comes with the store, or excuse me, comes with the machine to the Silhouette online store. And there is 100 free digital designs that are included via that email code when you go through the registration process. Now, my machine in particular came with a sticker on the front that gave explicit directions for where to go for a website, and it actually didn't work, but I was able to redeem those codes that it was mentioned that it came with by going to register my machine online on the Silhouette website. So that is my quick overview, or at least I hope quick overview, of what's new with the new Cameo 3. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comment section down below. I'm going to get to cutting and showing the new features like the auto blade and how it works.